But it was counted. That's all that matters.
Yep, so the judges they'll be scoring at 10-8.
So Ike Quartet with everything to do here as we enter the 8th. One legitimate knockdown, but one unfair, and Winky Wright now a fair way ahead on your cards.
Yep, have him 5 points up at the moment, and I feel sorry because, you know, some of the success that Quartet has had, maybe enjoying one of his best rounds, and then he finds himself on the floor at the end of it. You know, just things not going right for him. And that knockdown called against him there makes it even wider. Just, he's given everything, but not even had a single stroke of good luck.
It's the 5th fight of the comeback after 5 years out, and it may be his best performance yet, Ike Quartet, even though he must be struggling with the added physical size, because this, Jim, is surely where it starts to hurt.
Yeah, obviously each individual round when it gets to the last minute is tough, so obviously the more rounds you get behind you, then the tougher it's going to get. But having said that, Winky Wright is not pressing the advantage. He actually looked for an easy way out in the last round, as though he wanted a little breather. He hasn't been all that happy in the corner either. I think he's really finding this tough. And Winky, it's in his psyche to find an easy way to victory. He's done it so many times in the past. Doesn't want to get involved if he doesn't need to.
Yes, big breakthrough. Was the double win over Shane Mosley. Winky Wright, who just catches Quartet and starts to open up with combinations.
He's outboxing Quartet now, that's the difference. He's switched his tactics, he's given the fans a show, and it's been tremendous. In the first 6 rounds were tremendous. Now he's decided, right, boxing exhibition, do it the sensible way. This is what I'm good at, don't have to take any more needless punches. And this is what he's doing. This is more like the old Winky Wright.
And he's learned that ring craft and that adaptability from travelling all around the globe and taking fights at short notice against different opponents.
Yeah, exactly, and he's always known when to turn it on, when to turn it off. But it's good here. I mean, the first 6 rounds really were tremendous, and most of that was thanks to Ike Quartet. But you can't blame Winky Wright here. It's imperative that he wins here. His whole career hinging on this. Or should you be looking for him to start trying to dominate this man? I want to keeping in mind, Adam, they are still friends. So I think if Winky feels the points are in the bank, everything's safe, you know, who knows? Maybe he'll just come off the pedal a little bit. Maybe he's doing this as much for Quartet's benefit as his own. I don't know. But it has been tough up until now.
The crowd are enjoying it. And yes, I'm sure that Winky Wright and Ike Quartet will go for a drink together after this and celebrate as old friends, whatever the outcome. But they've given us a good fight, not a boring chess match.
It's been tremendous. It's been tremendous, but I think since the switch in tactics the last couple of rounds from Winky Wright, Ike Quartet, it's not his style of fight now. He's tiring. He must be a little bit despondent with 2 knockdowns called against him. So I'm wondering, does Winky Wright think maybe he's drawn his sting, so he's just going to let it go the 10 rounds and go home with a victory, which is the main thing.
All right, guys. Neither man has ever been stopped.
Let's go. Come on, Chuck. Come on, Chuck.
The bell goes for the 9th round. Last third. The red, green and yellow, remember, of Accra's Ike Quartet, who's won 37 of 41, 31 knockouts, might just now need that 32nd knockout. But how difficult is that to get up in weight?
Yeah, well, I mean, right from the off tonight, that has been the difference between them. His best punches haven't had any impact on Wright, but when he's caught cleanly himself, he stops in his tracks. So, you know, I just really don't think, we thought before the fight started that the job was too big for him, and I still feel that. But you can't fault the effort he's put up, and still putting up.
break. Don't punch, stop. Come on, step back. Take a step back, please.
Do you think Quartet will still be a force, say, at light middleweight?
Definitely. I mean, this is a tremendous performance I've seen from him. And look at the pace he's still setting. I mean, this is tough for him. He's in with a bigger man. You know, he's been taking full-blooded middleweight punches. And look at the spring in his legs and still the snap in his punches. It's just that he can't make an impression.
Right to the ribs from Wright was a good shot. Just made Quartet hesitate momentarily. May start targeting the body. Winky Wright.
See, I think Wright is beginning to frustrate and annoy him now. I mean, very seldom do you see out Quartet swinging wildly with the punch, but that right hand had no chance of landing. I think signs of frustration now with the change of tactics that are working a treat.
Our American colleagues, HBO at ringside, have Wright 8 points in front. It's a massive gap, but no disgrace in the performance so far from Quartet. He's hanging in there and trying everything. Just takes his eye off things there, Winky Wright.
You know, there's a commotion at ringside. Looks like a little bit of a battle has broken out. I hope Winky Wright wasn't looking down at that, but I think he was. He's looking out again. He's looking out the ring.
Jimmy's probably worried. If there is a little bit of bother outside, it might be.
Well, maybe his family sitting there.
Exactly.
Maybe his family said, but I've never seen that before. In the middle of a round of fighter looking out the ring. He certainly doesn't believe it's a better fight than this, that's for sure.
His long-time girlfriend, Tammy Ryan, is here at ringside. He's got 2 kids, Raven and Romello, who is absolutely devoted to Winky Wright. May just have worried there because he knows most of the crowd here, Jim.
Yeah, well, another round there where he's really outboxed like Quartet. Quartet could not get himself into that.
Again, Wright is just looking out at the crowd as Quartet sits on his stool. What do you tell like Quartet? Can you anything?
No, you just have to keep pumping him up as you're doing. I mean, the job is becoming too big for him. I don't think there's much else. He's fighting on just his pride. I mean, having said that, he's not being dominated. He's still in the fight, but just can't really make the impact that's needed.
There is still a bit of trouble going on in the crowd. Security are in, and that just did bother Ronald Winky Wright. Took his eye off what was in front of him. He's just got to keep his cool and get on with the job in hand. 9 minutes to go of what's been a better than expected middleweight contest between these two.
Well, probably fiery than expected, but we always expected quality. We were worried would they be a little bit too friendly, but that certainly has not been the case.
Yeah, it's been a bit more exciting, hasn't it?
Yeah, but it has. I wondered maybe if it would be a boxing match, both men boxing in third gear, but certainly not the case. Quartet, certainly in the first 5 rounds or so, gave it everything he had, and still trying to do that. But the change of tactics, as I said, he just hasn't been able to cope with that.
That's because neither can really afford a defeat. For Quartet, it will be 2 in a row. But as Jim was saying earlier, for Winky Wright it is absolutely crucial, especially with the big Taylor-Uma fight next week.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also nice that this fight has been so entertaining to watch. If it had been a boring fight, it wouldn't have helped his case, asking for the money. I'm a little bit surprised at Winky Wright. What is that he's refused $5 million? Now, for a challenger, that is good money. So you have to ask yourself, does he want more money, or does he not really want the return match? You know, $5 million for a challenger is a lot of money.
He told me, Jim, at the pre-fight presser that he really wants, and of course he does for the money, a shot at his friend and co-promoter Oscar De La Hoya. And when he said that, De La Hoya smiled and said, "Winky will try and accommodate you."
Yeah, well, Oscar stepped into the middleweight division twice. He didn't enjoy either of those experiences. He will not do that again.
And he's got a massive fight on his mind building up to Floyd Mayweather in May. It's great, Jim, that these two have lasted so long. Just looking down at the statistics, and Quartey won a bronze in the 1987 World Juniors. You know, 19 years ago, and they are still giving us these sort of performances.
Two guys that have paid their dues, and I'm sure Quartey will be getting a healthy sum for this one tonight, because it was always going to be a tough battle for him. I think it's always a problem finding opponents for Winky Wright, so hopefully he's been very well paid for this.
10 seconds left in the 10th. Just a bit sloppier there. Quartey shaking his head. Becoming more one-sided as this one goes along.
You bounce and punch, bounce away, just like you did this round. He can't touch you. You're giving him too much distance. All right? You got the reach, you got everything on this guy. They make it hard. All right?
Relax, baby. You got him, man. Now relax, baby. Be quick.
Bounce
quick
away,
legs.
just like you did that round there.
Darrell Hudson just saying, stay relaxed. Dan Birmingham's brother Mike in the corner with the Vaseline. He used to work Ike Quartey's corner back in France. Said Quartey wanted him to pop round and help him if he had any catch in this. Not sure that's in the rules. Here's the 11th round. Any late drama in store between Ronald Winky Wright and Ike Quartey, who have given us a good one, but it is right with those two knockdowns in his favour, and surely plenty of other rounds a mile in front.
Yeah, and it's becoming more and more of a struggle for Ike Quartey. In the early rounds, he was getting into range, and even if his punches weren't landing clean enough, had been blocked, he was getting them off. But now that Wright is using the ring a bit more, although just as I'm speaking, beautiful punch. This is what he needs. He needs to get close to Wright.
He's letting the leather flow. Ike Quartey responding. Trying to get inside that defense, those huge arms, the thick elbows of Winky Wright. But then again, Wright comes back and just does that.
Yeah, he's always had the appearance of a man who could take charge whenever it was really necessary. Quartey's had loads of real good busts, maybe full minutes when he's maybe been in control, but you always get the feeling that Wright could just snap into action and take the play away from him.
Only 3 people have ever managed to beat Winky Wright. Julio Cesar Vasquez, which was really far too early and in an uncomfortable place for Winky Wright, a long way from home. He managed it. Harry Simon did, but only on a count back. That was ever so close. And Fernando Vargas, the third person, also controversial. Never ever do you have an easy night with Winky Wright.
No, he's a man who's learned his training, he's mastered his style. I can't say this is the most enjoyable round that we've had from Winky Wright. You know, he's flicking, moving, doing a little bit of spoiling. He's just seeing things out now. But as I said earlier, they've given us a real show for 6 or 7 rounds. So maybe Winky thinks the job's done. Don't have to be punishing this guy to go home with a victory.
Opens up though, end of the 11th. Quality punches. Winky Wright getting through with the more solid looking blows. But still, Quarte comes on. It's been a brilliant, brilliant effort from the African.
Yeah, and thinking about his future, no signs of decay. He looks as though he could go on for another few years.
Yep. He retired, went back to Africa. Quarte
3 minutes, relax.
opened a hospital, a hotel,
One more and that's it.
but he's been refreshed.
Don't get careless. Keep your defense tight. Don't let your hands down.
The job nearly done for Ronald Winky Wright.
Punch, step
At
back.
no time was he looking all that happy in the corner, Winky. I don't know if that's just a little face he pulls when he's boxing, but I think this has been far tougher. I think this guy here deserves so much credit because he's made it so tough for Winky Wright all the way through here.
Don't you remember against Felix Trinidad when Wright raised his hands at the end of almost every single session? He hasn't really done that tonight.
No, he hasn't seemed to be enjoying himself. I think this really has been a struggle for him. Maybe a little bit tougher than expected, and that is all credit to Ike Quarte.
I think it's also a mark of respect because of their long-term friendship that they put on a show here for the Tampa crowd who have come out to celebrate Winky Wright's homecoming, and he is so far ahead now in your card.
Yeah, 108 to make it in. You can see it's just that Quarte, some of those rounds you would love to have given them to them, they just seem to sag, and as I keep saying, whenever Wright decided to get him under control, he seemed to be able to do it. But still, look at the pride he's still showing in the last round here, Quarte.
And the volume of shots as he works the body and the head, Ike Quarte. It's one of the best displays we've seen from the African in many a year.
Yep, there's no question, he still has a future, not in this division, but he still has a real future in the game.
The 226th round of Quarte's career, the 360th of Winky Wright, who nods his head as he hurts Quarte again. He knows he cannot be denied tonight. Still the commitment from Ike Quarte. He didn't have to do this, Jim.
As I said earlier, I can only imagine it's been a massive payday for Quarte. I don't think he would have gone up to the middleweight division otherwise. And he's earned every penny, no question. Winning the last round here.
Jim Wilkes, Winky Wright's friend and advisor, up on his feet, imploring Wright to try and put the finishing touches on, maybe get a stoppage, but he hasn't managed one since February 2002 when he halted Jason Papillon, and maybe he just has taken his foot off the gas because of their friendship.
I think he's kind of taken the mickey a little bit, if you like. He's showing Quarte that nothing he does is troubling him. But Quarte has outworked him in this round. But see, again, as I was saying earlier, whenever he decides to put him back in his place, he can do it. But tremendous final round from Quarte. Won it in my card, but it won't make any difference as far as the verdict goes.
A good, clean fight from these fabulous two aging warriors who have proved they have plenty left to offer in this sport. A hug for the pair. Winky Wright knows that he has victory number 51. The homecoming can be celebrated, but look at the African team too, and how proud they are of their charge.
Yeah, they're entitled to be proud. Yeah, 117, 109, my final card. Fairly wide, but as in boxing, quite often the scorecard doesn't tell the full story. Tremendous effort from Ike Quarte. Unfortunate knockdown, which widened the scoring a little bit. Also, the other knockdown when he looked to be on his way to maybe even winning the round. So he didn't have any luck whatsoever. But as I say, he still has a future. That was a tremendous performance. He looked lively, he looked up for all the way through. And maybe we have 2 winners this time.
Winky Wright, we're hearing, with a career high in throwing punches. Over 1,000 he threw. Ike Quartey over 600. Wright landing almost 300. Quartey just under 175. A splendid effort from Ike Quartey, and the class, size, and really control from Winky Wright. That's what it was. He knew what to do and when.
Yeah, and you can see with the way he boxed the later round. Well, keeping in mind, Adam, we haven't heard the scoring yet. I think we're just maybe about to hear it now.
Yep, surely there won't be any controversy here.
12 rounds of boxing. The official scorecard reads as follows. Judges Moretti and Trella scored about identically at 117 to 110. And Judge Trematera scores it 117 to 109 for the winner. By way of unanimous decision, Ronald Winky Wright.
The homecoming success for Ronald Winky Wright, who will be chasing Jermaine Taylor for the world title soon. Good stuff here in Tampa.
We'll hear from the winner, Ronald Winky Wright.
Like you were trying to close the show.
I was trying to close the show. We talked about it. Ike, a tough fighter. I dropped him a few times, hurt him a few times, but he come right back. He tough as nails.
Why did you want to close the show?
Because I want people keep saying I can't punch. I can punch. It's just that a lot of times I don't go for the knockout, but taking nothing away from Ike, great chin. Hey, he durable.
Does this mean that from now on, like a lot of veteran fighters who were boxers for much of their careers, you know that you're going to have to do more standing and delivering?
Oh, definitely. I want to do more standing and delivering. I want to please the crowd. I want to show that I can punch and, you know, ask any fighter that I fought if I can punch.
Was there any emotion in you involved in fighting Ike Quartey, who you go back a long way with?
Nah, you know, I didn't really. I wanted to get in there and win, and you know, if I knock him, I knock him. But you know, he's a great friend, a great guy. I didn't want to hurt him bad, but I wanted to win the fight, and he wanted to win the fight.
Did you hurt a hand or a knuckle in this fight?
A little bit sore, but it's great. You know what I mean? I had to shake it off a little bit. Then I got back into the game plan and threw some more left hands. Like I said, he's tough as nails.
All right, let's talk about the future for a moment. You seem to have gotten over the whole Taylor business, and you're now pointing to whom?
My co-promoter. my co-promoter. My co-promoter. Hey, but you know, my co-promoter over here, he got a great fight coming up against Floyd Mayweather, and I think it's gonna be a hell of a fight. And I'm rolling with Oscar.
So that you see that your best path in the future now is to try to fight the winner of that fight.
Yes, I definitely want the winner of that fight. I'm telling y'all on HBO, so if anybody else say it, I didn't say it, I said it live. I want the winner of the fight. If I can't get him, we'll work something else out. But right now, I'm looking for the best fighters. I'm an older fighter. I fought the best. I fought whoever wanted to fight me, and I won. So, you know, it's one man, like I said, that's a great champion that, you know, before I end my career, I would love to fight, and that's Oscar.
Unanimous points victory there for Ronald Winky Wright. Colin, were you impressed with the manner of the victory?
Oh yeah, I mean, it was overwhelming. But if only all fights were as predictable as that one, our job would be very much easier. I mean, he stuck from the very first bell. Winky asserted himself. He was much the bigger man. He was the better boxer, and it was one-way traffic really from first to last. So as I say, it was predictable. I have a feeling that they're two great mates, and I have also the feeling, despite what Winky said in the ring to Larry just now, that if he'd opened up much earlier instead of those last 30 seconds, he may well have stopped Quartey.
Could he have stopped him, do you think?
Well, he was willing to give away the last round. He turned it on whenever he wanted to. As we heard Jim say, you saw him do it. Between 4 and 6, he kind of was getting his second wind. He was getting a bit of a rest, then he turned it on again. I think they both had the experience of planning the trade away from home in France with the Akari brothers. so they know how each other works. They know what each other's style is. They'll be familiar with each other. And he came out cocksure of himself.
Yeah, but whilst I do agree there was no malice in any of the work there, you know, there was no hatred for their opponents, I don't think he could have stopped Quarty. I think Quarty was a very tough man. Wright's not the biggest of punchers. He did work hard. As I say, he threw more punches than he's ever thrown in his career.
There's one thing I did notice, though. In the interview afterwards, Winky Wright did not mention Jermaine Taylor. He did not mention his name because he doesn't want that fight. He's priced himself out of a rematch with that fight. He doesn't want it.
Can I make a point to you, though? If you've got to fight the winner of Mayweather and De La Hoya,
worth more money.
There's more money in that one than the other guy. So that's why he wants to fight the winner of that one. There's more money in it.
Okay, gentlemen, that's all we've got time for. Thank you very much for your company this evening. As far as big fight action comes, well, it's coming thick and fast for you over the coming...
Greedy for gags.
Why would a robot need to drink?
I can quit any time I want. Starving for some good belly laughs. Then get the heavyweights of comedy at a lighter load for your pocket. I hope you're not taking all this for granted. This is one offer that'll knock you out. Get DVD box sets from $9.99 each of The Simpsons, Family Guy, Futurama, and American Dad.
That is awesome.
At Play.com now.
Call of Duty 3, closer than ever.
If you're looking for a fresh challenge and want to get paid for it, visit ta.mod.uk now for your free DVD.
Let's stick together, let's get a hold of the ball and play good football. Go on, let's go to win. Good luck.
The 1970 World Cup was the culmination of Emilio Azcarraga's dream in building the Azteca. As host, Mexico were now keen to demonstrate that this event would
StansPoker.com. Send it.
Ronald Winky Wright puts himself in contention for a rematch with Jermaine Taylor, a unanimous points victory over Ike Quartey. And the winner, Ronald Winky Wright, talking to Larry Merchant.
If my eyes didn't deceive me, like you were trying to close the show.
I was trying to close the show. We talked about it. Ike, a tough fighter. I dropped him a few times, hurt him a few times, but he come right back. He tough as nails.
Why did you want to close the show?
Because people keep saying I can't punch. I can punch. It's just that a lot of times I don't go for the knockout, but taking nothing away from Ike, great chin, hey, he durable.
Does this mean that from now on, like a lot of veteran fighters who were boxers for much of their careers, you know that you're going to have to do more standing and delivering?
Oh, definitely. I want to do more standing and delivering. I want to please the crowd. I want to show that I can punch and, ask any fighter that I fought if I can punch.
Was there any emotion in you involved in fighting Ike Quartey, who you go back a long way with?
I didn't really. I wanted to get in there and win, and if I knock him, I knock him. But he's a great friend, a great guy. I didn't want to hurt him bad, but I wanted to win the fight, and he wanted to win the fight.
Did you hurt a hand or a knuckle in this fight?
A little bit sore, but it's great. You know what I mean? I had to shake it off a little bit. Then I got back into the game plan and threw some more left hands. Like I said, he's tough as nails.
All right, let's talk about the future for a moment. You seem to have gotten over the whole Taylor business, and you're now pointing to whom?
My co-promoter. my co-promoter. My co-promoter. Hey.